Hey everybody, I'm Joey. Welcome to my video today. We're going to make a very cute card and I'm going to show you how to make a super sweet striped background that anybody can make. We're going to make it watercolory, but the easiest watercolor ever. So I'm happy you're here with me today. Make sure you say hello when you jump on. I'm live. I should be live both on Facebook and YouTube. So let me know you're watching. Say hello. If you're watching replay, I'd still love for you to say hi. I always come back and check my comments and respond. If you have any questions, make sure you put those in the comments and I'll come back and answer those as well. Okay, I think we're ready to go here. I'm anxious to show you my card today, so I'm going to flip on my camera on my workspace, and I'm also going to flip on my comments to see if I'm live yet. It does take both Facebook and YouTube a moment. Oh, Jamie, hi, good. I was hoping you'd hop on today. Anyway, so now I know I'm live in at least one place. It looks like you're watching on YouTube. Hi, Margaret. Welcome. I'm happy you're here today, too. Okay, so I am live in at least one place, if not both, so that's awesome. This week, you guys, is the, well, not this week, this month, is the buy one, get one free sale from Stampin' Up. All the suites and suite products. So that means individual items in each of the suites, both online and in the annual catalog. Now, it goes through the end of June, but I would encourage you, if you have some things on your list that you want, some suites and suite products, that you buy them soon, because there are things that have sold out, and so I don't want you to miss out on anything. There is a link for my online store in the video description on YouTube. And going on, gosh, lost my train of thought, sorry. So today we're looking at another suite that is an online exclusive. Now this is a PDF. This doesn't come from Stampin' Up. This is my own PDF, and I have this listed also in the video description. It will say May online exclusive, so if you want to click on that, you can see in paper and print everything that is a new online exclusive that just went live in May. So we're using today the Floral Impressions Suite collection. That's what we used yesterday. Get one for half price. Buy one, get one for half price. Did I say that wrong, Margaret? Yes. Buy one thing and get one for half price. Either the whole suite or products in the suite. So in other words, let's say you purchase this suite. You want this suite that I'm showing today, and I'll show you everything that's in this suite. And then you also want something else. Say you want the bundle from the Celebratory Sips collection. You want just the bundle here. So if you put that on your order, then you'll get that for half price. So whatever your second item is going to be the one that's half. Whatever your second item is will be the lowest price, I should say, not the second item, but the lowest priced item is the one that's half priced. So if you watch today and you want the Impressions Abloom bundle, you can put that on your order, and then you can pick anything that is also in a suite. It needs to be in a suite and suite products for your second one, and whichever one is cheaper you get for half price. That was a lot of words. I'm not sure I've made sense in the beginning, but hopefully it made sense as we went along. Okay, today we're going to make a card, as I said, with the Impressions Abloom Suite. We are not going to use all the products in this suite, but we're going to use almost all of them. So it's the stamp set and dies. Now you might think this is just another stamp flower set, but these two dies, and along with a lot of the other ones, make it an extra special suite. We're going to use these today, and I'm going to show you how to use them to get this dotted edge, this stitched edge on your oval. They're nice and big. They're really great for backgrounds. We are going to make a background today, and then all of these dies come with it. So I have made several cards with this suite. I have shared them also on my YouTube and my blog, createwithjoey.com. is that stamp set and dies. It's these sparkly gems. They're called Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. That's just what they're called. There's an embossing folder. We are going to use this one today. It's kind of hard to see right there. Let me see if I can find a piece of dark paper. But there you can see the embossing folder comes in this suite. Now these tags, these gold frame tags also come. I haven't used those yet. And then the designer series paper as well. I'll give you a quick peek of these. I don't have my handy 6x6 samples cut yet from this, but all these gorgeous florals. There is a video on the Stampin' Up website or video channel that shows how the designer, the concept artist at Stampin' Up, this is the one we're using today, used to paint these, create these designer series paper. So you can look for that as well. Alrighty, let's go ahead and make our card today. So we're gonna get a little messy, so I know there's a lot of glare on my glass mat today, which is usually why I use my grid paper, but today we're gonna get, as I said, we're gonna get a little bit messy. We're gonna use this painted stripes background. I really like this. I had not used it and I bought it right away when it first came out, but we're going to use it today. All right, and I have it mounted on this huge block. It's size F block. I know you can't really see that, but so you need this big a block, or you need like if you have our stamp positioning machine, not machine, what am I trying, tool, a stamp positioner. You can use that as well, but you need a big block. So we're going to first start with just a piece of, I think this is, you don't really need it to be the thick white. I think this is the thick white. I'm going to use that instead of this one. And the way we're going to start out with this is we're going to just take our Pretty in Pink ink pad. Now, Pretty in Pink is an ink color from last year, which means we have another year with it, but then it will retire and we'll get another set of 5 ink colors. I'm going to ink this up really well because the variation in the stamp itself, I just want to make sure all that comes through, and it won't come through if we don't get it inked up really well. Then I'm going to grab some scrap paper. I'm going to also grab my piercing mat here, my Stampin' Pierce. Hi, Liz. No, so nice to see you. All right, let's go ahead, and I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper as well. I'm going to kind of put this like this. Now, what we're going to do is we're first going to stamp this off twice. It is kind of bulky to hold it, but let's go ahead and I'm going to stamp it off once. And then I'm going to stamp it off one more time. Stamp off just means you're stamping on a scrap paper that you're not going to use for your project. Now, here's the messy part. Let's kind of turn this over. I'm going to grab my spritzer. These come, I think, two a pack. They're only $6. Now I'm going to spritz this, so you won't probably be able to. I'm going to spritz it pretty well, actually. So it's going to be pretty damp. And now I'm going to take my cardstock. Actually, I think what I'll do is I'll lay it side up like this so I can see to get it straight on my stripes. Although we're going to die cut this, so we don't care too much if it's too straight, because we can move our die to make it straight. So I'm just going to gently lay this on here and go over it with my fingers to just make sure that ink and the water all absorbs into my paper, like so. Yesterday we made another card with this suite of products. I did link all my videos this week. We have 3 videos this week. Okay, let's lift this up. And then we get this really pretty watercolor background. Now, you can, if you want it to, if it's too soupy, you can turn it over on your scrap paper and blot it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let it just air dry because I like where the water's a little bit, or the ink is a little bit more puddled than other places. Now, for the sake of the video, I've already done this because you do need it to dry. So, let me show you what I made. So here's the card we're going to make today. And here's the striped background. But I do want to show you how to use these ovals. I think makes it the most easy way to use this stitched oval. So let me pull those out. And then we will pull out let's see. So I know it's hard to tell, but this one without the stitching is a little bit bigger than this one with the stitching. So I'm going to run this. This is this is the one that I ran through for this guy. So I already did that. And then I ran this one through, which gave me both of these. So this is a smaller oval. It's a little bit smaller than this one. Is that right? No, that's a lie. Okay, so let's start over with that. This one is a larger one, so that one I cut out of this. And then this one, let's just get a better visual for this. This one I did on a striped paper. And then I cut it again to get just a plain white one. So this one doesn't have any of the stamp that we just stamped on it. It's just plain white. So I cut this out, and then I used this die again to cut another one out. And that gave me the inside, which we're not using for this card. And then it gave me the stitched edge that we have right there. I hope that makes sense. I would have had to use my heat tool to heat this up and dry it out in time, but I think it just turned out really pretty. I'm really happy with how that turned out. Okay, so now my hint to you about this, my trick, is this our larger one? Hopefully I got this right. Yes. So this is just very slightly larger. Can you see that? Very slightly. So what I did with this one, I'm going to close my ink pad here before I have some sort of a disaster with that. I'm going to go ahead and just use my liquid glue. And since this has been watercolored, you know, it likes to move and wrinkle up a little bit. Wrinkle's not really the right word, but it doesn't lay flat anymore. If I had to put a book on it or something, or a stamp block, it probably would have. I'm going to go ahead and get this glue so it sticks down. I'm going to grab, how did I do this? Got to think, how did I do this? All right, the way I did it was this. I put my oval down like this, and then I just line this up. I don't know if you, hopefully you can kind of see. It's a very, very thin edge around. It's just very slightly bigger. So if you wanted to use, like, you know, a color for this one, then it would just make a nice matte for you. I'm using it to actually make a whiter base for this guy to put this on. So I'm going to let this sit for a minute. We're going to do some die cutting. We'll come back to that. I'm going to put actually a big block on this to keep it flat. I'll probably just use this to keep it flat for a moment to dry. And then let's do some die cutting and make our flowers. So I'm going to grab the die cutting machine and some paper scraps. We're going to make a pink flower, a strawberry slush flower. Whoops, we don't want that on the top. And fresh freesia flower. So my bases are, my sandwich is 1 is the base, 2 is next for die cutting. Then next is a number 3 plate. Here's the number 3 up here in the corner. And that's our sandwich. And then we put our dies and then our top plate on. So let me grab the dies. We have hang on, grabbing my dies, they all kind of scattered off of my magnetic plate, so hopefully I can find everything. So another hint that I'll tell you about how to use these dies is I used a marker, Sharpie. Whoops, I'm embellishing my hands today. I'm going to hold this up, make sure you can see it. So I used the Sharpie marker to mark both the inside die and outside die. And then this is the one that makes the embossing, and then the outside one cuts it out, as well as cuts out the stamped image, which I'll share with you. I've got a whole card I did with just the stamped images as well. Same thing for this one. I'm going to do strawberry slush, and I'm going to line up that. Same, I marked it just as well. I don't know if the camera is focusing on that, but you can see hopefully where I marked those. And the same with the little one. We're going to go ahead and get this guy down. This one, my markings are pretty much worn off, but this one's actually a little bit easier to line up. Now I've already die cut my leaves, but we do need some little flowers, so I'm going to grab a little piece. There's two trio flower dies in this set of dies, which again makes it so easy. Grabbing some scrap paper here. Need to kind of break these up a little bit. It makes it so easy to cut out. No one wants to cut out like a tiny flower die 6 times. So this way, with one pass through, we have 6 of those sweet little flowers to put on our card. Okay, I think that's everything. Let's grab the top plate, and you do want the dies, everything to be lined up this way to go through. Let's go ahead and die cut that. You know, my hand is covering up everything. Let me try and move my hand a little bit so you can kind of see it die cutting. No, that's a lie. That's too fun. Oh, Liz. Liz is my very long-time friend, stamping friend, fellow demonstrator. She's my sideline. We both have the same upline, and we have gotten to know each other very well, so she knows my sense of humor. Okay, let's get these all lined up here. Some people watching Liz are probably thinking, what the heck? Am I supposed to laugh at that, or is she serious? Most of the time, I'm not serious. All right, let's go ahead and get these guys on here. I'm not going to take too much time with these, but they cut out. You can see that the flowers, well, where are my other little flowers? Maybe they are still in the die. Oh, no, there they are. So we've got our 6 little tiny white flowers, our strawberry slush flower, our fresh freesia flower, our 6 little white ones. I make these here so I don't lose them. Now, what I usually do, if you watched me before, you have probably seen me do this. I'm going to grab these and get these at least on the same magnet board. I'm just going to actually, I've got a lot of little things cut here, so I'm just going to put these little flowers, and they're white, so I don't know how well you can see them, but as you can see, I have used my tray for my glass mat for just like little extra die cuts and things like that as I'm making my cards, because sometimes I think I'm going one direction with some die cuts and then end up going a different direction, but then I keep them. Oh, let's get this out of the way for future projects. And if I get my project done and I haven't used them, then I store my extra die cuts in our stamp cases. These are available in our online store. They're 4 in a pack, and I use them a lot for storage, including die cutting. All right, now I did cut ahead of time. I did die cut this flower center, so let's go ahead and put those on. I used 2 little ones and 1 larger one for the flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and just get those on mini glue dots, and then we can go ahead and put those on our flowers. Again, that's pretty in pink. And this is strawberry slush, and this is the flower. The centers are all Daffodil Delight. And then Fresh Freesia for the purple one. That's not in the center. Let's gently pull that off and see if we can't get it more centered. There we go. Okay, so there's that. Now I have the leaves already cut, so I think we're actually ready to start assembling our card. For this card base, I have a piece of white, basic white thick. I like the thick for my card bases. I realize it's gone up in price, so I have probably been using more often than not my colored cardstock for card bases, but I love white, so I'll be still using white quite a bit. Now, hold on. I'm missing a piece of pretty in pink paper. Just a second. I did prep this earlier this morning, but that's the way my day has gone. That's the way my day usually goes. I even went to bed early last night. I'm like, okay, I need to get to bed at a good time, which I did. But then I made a whole watercolor card. I'll show you that when we're done. If you can stick out to the end, I'll also show you my my team cards that we made at my team meeting this month with this bundle. So we used only this bundle this month. I'm going to have to go ahead and die cut this. Not die cut it. What am I trying to say? Emboss it. This is the embossing folder that comes with this suite. If you buy the suite of products, or you can buy the embossing folder separately if you want to. So we're going to line that up. Now, since it's not a 3D embossing folder, we just need both of our number 3, our base plate number 1. So sorry, that's going the wrong way. So, I mean, there's no right or wrong way to put in your machine, but I just wanted you to see the one. Then we use number 3 plate, and then our embossing folder, folded edge going in first to protect your folder, because as it goes through, it squeezes out the air and releases the pressure. And mine is a pretty tight fit, so I just want to be really sure that that folded edge goes in first. So now we have this. Did I say this? What I cut this out? This is 3 by 5.5. If I didn't say that. Okay, now let's go ahead. Now I think we're ready. No, we're not ready. We have to cut the designer paper. So hold on a second. This is one of those papers I showed you at the beginning that also comes with a suite of products. It is called, oh, what is it called? It is called Floral Impressions. I don't know why it's hard for me to say Floral Impressions, but that's what it's called. I'm going to go to 5.5 here. It's 2 inches wide by 5.5 because we're going the full length of our card. Now this card was actually inspired by another demonstrator. Her name is Tammy Hewlett is her name. The watercolor card I'm going to show you is what I started out with this morning, but it would be impossible, not impossible, but almost impossible to show how to make that card because Tammy is an artisan for Stampin' Up, or she has been. I don't know if she is this year, but she has been many times. She's just super talented, but she does very, very, very detailed, lots of steps. I want to make sure I get this on here right. For her cards, I mean, they're works of art. They truly, truly are. And I made an attempt at it this morning, and I'll show it to you. And I love the way it turned out, but there's too many steps that take time for a video. So I'm doing a Joey card instead of a Tammy Hewlett card, which means there's less steps. There's not any watercoloring except for our background, which we did. which I love how that turned out. And I can't wait to use that striped background more. I just got it out this morning for this card. So there we go. So this is Pretty in Pink. Can you see? I don't think you can see it very well. I know there's a lot of glare. Let me take that off. That doesn't really help, and it takes away the light. So we're going to turn that back on. Okay, now for our oval. Let's see if I can find everything. Good heavens. You know, I don't know how this happens. Honestly, I have everything so organized, and as soon as I start on Facebook, things go wacky, and now I can't find my big ovals. Okay, talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Let me see if I can locate the ovals that we already made, so we don't have to make new ones, but we might be making new ones because I can't see where it is. I'm checking. I've got this one, but I need the one that we well, my friends, we might be redoing the oval. Okay, no worries. This is dry by now. Let's just go for it. Okay, so then you'll see it from scratch, which sometimes is actually more helpful anyway. So for this, we need, remember that the one with the stitching is going to cut the smaller of the inside oval. So we need this for our background. Go ahead and get this back out. You know, I always find everything right when I'm done with my Facebook. I'm like, okay. Now I do want this to, let me look at this for a moment. I want these stripes to be fairly straight across my oval. So I'm gonna hopefully keep those fairly straight. Let's go ahead and, whoops, I don't have all my plates on. I think I forgot my number 2 plate. Let me grab this. And okay, now I don't even see my number 2 plate. Goodness gracious, you guys, I probably should have just not done today's live, but I like to do 3 cards to show you every week, usually with just one set of products. This week, the ones I was planning on, the suite became unavailable. I started with Citrus Cheers and Sips, I think it's called. Celebratory Sips is the designer paper. Oh, we're still going to need our die cutting. So now we've got this die cut. Anyway, as I started to say, I'm all over the place. Squirrel. It sold out after the first day that I demonstrated a card with it. So I switched to this suite because this one is also amazing. The dies in it are fabulous. You can make cards with just the dies. So if you're like all about, I just want a die cut, and I do have customers that are all about just the die cutting. This is perfect for you as well. You don't really even need the stamps if you don't want to stamp. Okay, we're going to come back to the die. We're getting all these bits over here. As I said earlier, I'll find all of our parts that we already made as soon as I'm done with the Facebook Live. I'll go, oh, it's right here. Okay, now we're going to cut. This is the larger oval. This one is the one that does not have the stitching. See? Okay, there we go. Let's get that on there. All right, here we go. Again, you know, it's not the worst thing for you to see me do it from scratch, because sometimes a visual is more meaningful and powerful than just seeing it already done. I usually do at least some steps ahead of time to just keep the video a little bit shorter, but now we've got everything we need, so here we go. Now, we did this step on the first thing that, who knows where it went. There's a mystery little creature in my stamp room that seems to just take things. They disappear. And it's really unusual because I'm the only one that actually, you know, that I know of that uses my things, but then somehow they disappear. Some of them disappear. You know, like that little thing that we made. We just had it here. And I'm looking again. I still don't see it. Grabbing my tweezers. Hopefully they're put back in my bin here. No, I don't see them. So let's just pick this guy up like this. With my take your pick tool. Now I'm going to try this again. We're just going to, you can probably see this better if I put it on my mat. So let me pull this up. And I use liquid glue so it gives me a moment, only a moment, to position this. And the border is very, very, very small. So can you see that? Sorry, I wanted to make sure. I want to move my computer so I can see what yeah, so you can see that it's a very small border. Oh, I know what we did with it. Are some of you like screaming into the computer? You put it under your block. So, here we go. Here's our first one. Oh my gosh, you guys. Thanks for sticking with me today. All right, so now I've got one for another card. We'll go ahead and do the one I already started, and we'll let this one sit under the block. You were probably telling me, and I didn't look at the comments, you were probably saying, remember, you put it under your block. But, oh well, now you have seen the whole process, and as I said, sometimes I think that's helpful too. I watched this makeup person on YouTube. Her name is Nikki LaRose. And she's a makeup artist in California. Now, what I'm going to do is very carefully, I'll get back to my story in a minute. I'm just going to go around the edges with this very, very lightly. And she does, once a week or so, she does a trying new products video. And, you know, you actually get to see her up close and personal. These are things she's trying for the first time, so you're getting her first impression of new products that she just bought. And it's really kind of fun because sometimes she, you know, you just kind of see it from the ground up, somebody trying new products from the ground up. And that, in my mind, this is related. So if you're going, what does this have to do with your card? Well, this is a fairly new product for me as well. I have made my team cards, which I'll share with you in a moment. At the end of this video, so stay tuned. And now I'm just lightly putting this stitched edge around. Isn't that turn out pretty? We needed to see it again to learn. Thank you, Liz. You're always so encouraging. Okay, so there you can see that it helps to have that larger oval cut first and then to line up your inside oval and then your stitched edge. That's what I really wanted to show you today, because this is what the part about this flower set that it's more unusual than other flower sets that we have. We don't have anything unique like this in our other die cut flowers, so I thought if you hadn't seen that or anybody showed you how to do that, you might want to see how to do it. So now we've got this. And now we've got our card base. And we're going to put this on our card. Let's go ahead and let's kind of dry fit this. I'm going to pull out my garden green leaves. I've already cut those. Same bundle. Everything I'm using today is from the same bundle. And then my pretty and pink flower. Oh, I think I've got my sample. I think I can just go ahead and go for it. So let's just go ahead and get her down. I'm going to go ahead and, of course, they're mowing today. I don't know if you can hear it, but in my ears it's really loud. It's not our yard, it's our green space though. And of course they're right in back of my house, even though it's a big green space. Oh my gosh, did you guys' lives ever go like Murphy's Law days like mine does? I feel like I have Murphy's Law every day. Okay, I'm going to just kind of guess where I think this should go. And as I said, I've already made my sample, so I kind of know where these things are going to line up. Let's go ahead and put this guy about there. I'm going to grab some, oops, those are mini dimensionals. I want some bigger ones. You know, and I'm a perfectionist, which doesn't help this situation of feeling like, oh my gosh, things are going wrong. I should just quit or throw in the towel or not do it today. But you know what? I don't know that I'd ever make a video. Oh, you know what we have to do, kids? We have to get this down on our card so that we can not have everything slip sliding around while we build our little bouquet. So this is like a little bouquet on our card. I don't know. I hope you guys have, no, I don't hope you have Murphy's Law days because I know it's exasperating, but misery loves company, so I hope I'm not alone. Okay, so let's get this flower kind of like this, situated like this. I'm not pushing it down. It does have a dimensional on the back of it, but I kind of want to see how these things are going to go. Next, we're going to put these two leaves. Now, this set of flowers does not only have those little triplet flower dies, it also has two of these leaf dies plus two other leaf dies plus the big branch. So there are a lot of dies that you can send through at one time, and then you only have one turn through the die cutting machine and you're all ready to make your card. So let's go ahead and grab, I will check your comments at the end of the video. I'm going to go ahead and get my card done or mostly done before I do that. I have to look at my computer screen and click, let's see, click a button to see your comments so they don't, I can't see them while I'm crafting because first of all, I'm looking down at what I'm making, and then second of all, they don't pop up unless I go to the screen and use my cursor to pop them up, which I will do at the end. So if you can hang with me, I'd love to chat with you. So let's go ahead and kind of get this going, kind of like this. I'll also show you my watercolor one too. Now we're going to do, before we put our last flower on, or in our little flowers, we're going to do our greeting. So let's grab a piece of scrap paper, and yeah, I really did try different colors for the greeting. I tried garden green, I tried strawberry slush, I tried all of them, and I ended up back with pretty and pink. Now, does it photograph as well as one of the darker colors? Probably not. But is it really pretty in person? Yes, I think it makes everything kind of go together really well. Here we go. Let's go ahead and stamp. I appreciate you. I really like the font, and I like pink. So if you're not a pink lover, you might be going, you should have stamped this in strawberry slush or garden green, which, you know, you're not wrong, and we can do it either way. Today I picked pretty and pink, but I know that garden green would show up more. When I fussy cut now, fussy cut again is just a fancy word for cut with your scissors. I'm going to move my paper. Just going to cut this out. And now I'm not too particular about my fussy cutting. I don't think anyone cares. You know what I'm saying? Can you even see me? I'll try to get closer so you can see. You know, now if you'd rather die cut this, you could put it, you could use some kind of a rectangle, long rectangle skinny die. Sometimes I just don't want the greeting to cover up any more of my card than it has to, which is the case on this card. So trying to get close enough you can see me, but it is really light in the video. Maybe we should have done garden green, but we're already into this, so we're going to go with Pretty in Pink. It's one of my favorite colors. It's one that has returned. The past 2 years they brought back in the ink color something that we had in years past, which has been kind of fun. Okay, so I appreciate you, like so. Okay, so there's that. Let's get rid of all this mess here. And then this is going to go kind of across like this. This card is kind of the compilation of about 2 or 3 different cards I saw using this set. I wanted to do something a little more unusual than you might be seeing online, so that's why I did the pink stripe background. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put some mini dimensionals on this guy. So, and I also wanted to show how to use those ovals together to help get that stitched background on your card. Because initially you might have thought that the stitched background die cuts out the entire thing with the stitching on it, like our Stylish Shapes dies do, if you're familiar with those. But it doesn't. It cuts the ovals separately on the inside, and then the stitching, what am I trying to say? The stitching outline thing separately. So you have 2 different die cuts there. That's crooked. Okay, hang on. I never really press down anything. And my phone's kind of in the way of me seeing this and looking over my phone. We'll hope that's straight. Let's take our little fresh freesia flower, and let's stick that guy kind of, we want him to be part of the group of flowers, but down just a touch like that. Now we've got these sweet little white flowers that we die cut, and I could have made these in colors. They probably again would have showed up better if I'd have done them die cut them in a color, but I didn't. So you could do that if you replicate this card. If you have this bundle or something similar, I would love to see what you make with it. Now, actually, for the sake of this video, I think we're probably only going to put on 3 of these little white flowers, but let's go ahead with that. I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool. Whoops. And of course, one sticks to my hand. I'm definitely decorating my hands today. Let's take these guys off here. I'm going to kind of put them pretty close to my little group of flowers. I just kind of like things all together on my cards. Usually, not always. Let's stick this little guy down here. There we have, isn't that pretty? And then, you guys, we have to use these Strawberry Slush gems. As I said earlier, I think I told you these are Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. So now for my sample card, I guess I did use Strawberry Slush, so we'll use that again. So they show really well. These have little sparkles in them. I know you can't really see that in the video. I'll hold it up to the closer to the camera. Let's use a small one here. There's 2 sizes, large and small. Maybe there beside that guy. What do you think, you guys? I think that turned out pretty. Let me show you my watercolor one. Now, this is the one I copied directly from Tammy. Well, no, hers is prettier. But I did a lot of stamping off and then spritzing, like exactly like we did with the background stamp. And then I put a lot more layers. I even watercolored the leaves for this one. And to do that, I just painted, so to speak, my cardstock first with just clear, my watercolor, just water. Then I put some re-inker on a block, and I swished around my water painter, and then I swished it onto my cardstock, and that's how I got these pretty watercolory leaves on this one. Two very different cards, but kind of the same idea. So there's those. Now, if you'd like to see my club or my team cards, let me grab those. So for my team, I'll put these off to the side so you can still see. For my team, we were getting samples with all the new ink colors. So these are their cards with all the ink colors with this same bundle. Here you can see Strawberry Slush and Cloud Cover, as well as Darling Duckling and Secret Sea. None of which, the only one of these that we used on my cards today was the Strawberry Slush cardstock, but not the ink colors. But this was for them to have a sample of both the ink and the cardstock in there for their people, or just for themselves if they don't have customers, if they're just a happy shopper. Okay, I'm looking at your comments. Oh, thanks, Liz. Hi, Pam. I'm glad you like, and Liz loves the card. Liz says, Tanvi bought 2 of the striped backgrounds, so I'll buy it from her. I really like your technique of spritzing before stamping. Me too, Liz. I mean, I really think it turned out pretty, and you can still see the stripes, but it doesn't take over the design. I know I'll be using these stripes a lot. Now on this one, it's a lot more soft. I think I put a lot more water on this one, but I did use it. I don't know if that's very visible in the video. And this one, I wanted a little bit more ink because my flowers were more bold in this one. Okay, I'm checking back here. Thank you, Jamie. Hi, Diane. Found me today. It's under the block, Liz. Oh, my Lord in heaven. Thanks, Liz. Too bad I didn't see it sooner, but maybe it's just as well because then you got to see the whole process from start to finish. Let me just lay these out too. So if you want to take a screenshot, you can take it of these. Now, I will be sending the whole PDF tutorial for this card, and then the other cards I made this week. Here's one I made with here's the first one we made with the cheers and sips. I'm getting a lot of things going on here. Then yesterday we made this card, whoops, this one, with also this bundle, same bundle, and we made the origami shirt. I did link this video, and then you have today's that you're watching. There are links for these in the video description. Right now, I did it before I went live, so that you have all the video links for all of this. So I hope this was helpful. If you put in an order of $40 this week or more, I'll send you the card kits for all these three cards. I'll send you all the supplies to make those. If your order is $50 or more, I'll also send you a free embellishment. It'll be either the Strawberry Slush gems or anything that I've used here, these gems. I've got several of these to give away. I've got several of each of these, so I've got plenty to give away. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope that you will try my water spritzing technique. You could do this with any background stamp, not just this one. Or if you do this card design, I would love to see what you're making too. Let me bring up my face once more. Again, thanks so much for being with me here today, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Wednesdays are my normal day to go live at 12:30 Central Time on YouTube and Facebook. Hope you can find me there. Take care, everybody. Sending you some love. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.